Hey everyone, I'm here with a recycling contraption to show you. This is my contribution to sustainability, or circular economy as it's called, but here I've got, here's a compost pile, mixture of garden and kitchen scraps. There's also a lot of coffee filters in there from work that I take out to avoid going in the landfill. More on that later. But once the compost is decomposed for a year or two, what I'm doing here is sifting it out. And what I'm using for that is, well, there's a wheelbarrow on the bottom. Got an old jigsaw that wasn't getting any use anymore, so that's some recycling there. And it's bolted to, this is a roll-out drawer tray from a drawer stack. So it's actually got some little casters underneath these rails and a couple of rubber bumpers on the back. So the idea is this thing oscillates back and forward and sifts the compost. Okay, just reorienting my view here so you can see the rest of it. The frame's built from the parallel pieces there along the sides are a couple of skids from a pallet that were cut rather nicely to fit the shape of the wheelbarrow, which is convenient, and some rubber pieces just to stop it making too much noise. It is fairly noisy. Jigsaw's set on real low speed, and there's a sort of a washer arrangement there, which again is recycled. That's actually some old CD holder thingies that I used to make sure the stress on this OSB was evened out as best I could. Alright, so I'll load it up and we'll run it and you can get to see it in action. Okay, so here we go. I don't want to put too much in and put too much strain in the motor. It does run kind of hot after a while. I'll turn this on. You won't be able to hear me talk, so I'll just observe for a minute or two. One-handed. It's kind of difficult one-handed. Alright, so this is the same load after maybe a minute or so more with helping rake it around a little bit with my hand or the trowel. So end it with some sticks that I can lose, and all this large stuff will end up in here that will just be put back in the compost pile. So that can rot down a little bit more. And you noticed a lot of red and a few green pieces coming out, so those are the edges of the coffee filters. It's a rather large pile there. So note to the people at Folgers, these are not very biodegradable, the plastic edges of the filter, at least not after a year or two. And it's also notable that there's a lot more red regular coffee drunk than green decaf. There's also a Nerf dart that came out in the middle of all that, so I'll see if my son wants that back. Does a pretty good job of sifting out the stuff you don't want, and this isn't very full right now, but you can you can get a sense of what the product looks like. It's a nice fine organic soil, and that saves me a few dollars at the garden store, the DIY store, and just feels good to be putting some organic stuff back in my garden, back in the vegetable patch, and not having it go to landfill. Okay, I hope that was interesting and helpful to some people, and at the very least, if you watch this far, just a little bit entertaining. Have a great summer.